Imagine it's 6 a.m. in the morning. The sun is rising and you're walking along the San Diego waterfront. You're talking with fitness industry colleagues from across the country and across the globe. You're exchanging experience, ideas, and stories with some friends that you already know and some that you've just met for the very first time. For 45 minutes, you walk and you talk, you learn as you go, and you make plans to catch up again in the days to come. That feeling of excitement, of friendship and activity is exactly what our meetup events are all about. And you're invited to join us for the FBP Family Meetup that is happening this March the 13th at URSA 2019. For full details, make sure you listen in after the main interview. Welcome to episode 217 of the industry's leading business podcast for fitness owners and managers. We'd like to thank this month's premier podcast partner. Team Rockstar Fit is the mastermind team that helps fitness professionals and studios add nutrition, fitness, and online coaching to their existing business with tools from Beachbody. To find out more, visit teamrockstarfit.com. Before I introduce you to this week's special guest, I first want to tell you about a brand new Facebook Live show that we launched just last week. It's called Talking Trends, and each month live on Facebook, I'll be joined by a fitness industry leader from across the world to chat about the latest trends and predictions in the industry. We cover 6 key areas: marketing, sales, managing teams, retention, fitness programming, and professional development. My first guest was none other than Chris Stevenson, and you can watch the full episode either on Facebook/Fitness Business Podcast, or just head over to our YouTube channel, go to YouTube and then type in Fitness Business Podcast. Go directly to the playlist called Talking Trends. Now, over the coming months, you will see many familiar faces on the new show, including Alan Leach, Emma Barry, Mo Hagan, Amy Thompson, as well as our special guest on the podcast from this week, Sara Kooperman. So tune in each month to our new Facebook Live show and hear directly from those leading experts in our new series, Talking Trends. Now, let's get into this week's show. This week, I'm joined by the CEO of SCW Fitness Education and WATERinMOTION, Sara Kooperman. If you don't know Sara, you really should. She has had an incredible impact on the global fitness industry, having launched 9 MANIA fitness professional conventions, over 35 live and online certifications, and over 600 video and CSC projects. Her company reaches more than 10,000 fitness professionals face-to-face, another 100,000 in virtual connections, and engages with over 200,000 people on social media. She is the recipient of the Illinois State Businesswoman of the Year and the AEA's Global Award for Contribution to the Aquatic Industry. Having been a former adjunct faculty member for the Kenneth Cooper Institute, ACSM, NASM, ACE, and AFAA, Sara serves on the Gold's Gym think tank and is on the Women in Fitness Association Board of Directors, and is also a proud inductee into the National Fitness Hall of Fame. I've got to tell you, I loved interviewing Sara because not only does she have an incredible amount of experience, she is extremely funny, she is candid, she's honest, and totally down to earth. So during this interview with Sara, she shares marketing essentials on how to grow your fitness business, what she has been through as a fitness professional and as an owner. We talk about creating custom hashtags for your business, how to use SMS to connect with your customers, why it's essential to segment your marketing messages, and she leaves us with some great advice around professional development. Now, 2 more things that you need to know. As I mentioned right up front, I'm really excited to announce that Sarah is going to be our next guest on the new Facebook Live series, which is called Talking Trends. Plus, she is one of the key international speakers that is coming to Australia for FILEX 2019. We're going to talk about that a little bit more after the main interview today. Now, a huge thank you to our podcast partner, Team Rockstar Fit. Do you want to lead a happy and balanced life with your career in fitness? Team Rockstar Fit offers mentoring and support to expand your business online with tools from Beachbody. Earn money out of the trenches. Visit teamrockstarfit.com. Enjoy this week's show with special guest Sara Kooperman. Sarah, welcome along. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
It's great to be here.
Our topic for today is marketing for growth, and specifically unique ways to market for growth. So if I'm a fitness business owner, even if I'm a personal trainer running my own marketing department or looking to expand the business, let's dive into the marketing factor. What are some of the things that we need to think about when it comes to marketing our fitness business?
Well, I think one of the most unique things that's happening today is everybody's thinking social media. And that's all they're thinking about, is getting in front of people, being a go-to place to get information, feeling comfortable. And they research you before they walk in your door. You better sell them on social media before they walk in your door. And they research you fully, and they know what's going on, and they're checking to see what people think of you. I mean, it's kind of crazy that you would sit, let's say, in a restaurant. You go in a restaurant and you're asking a person who's taking your order, you're asking them what I should eat. This is a person that can spit in your food, and you're asking them for their opinion. People want to read other people's opinions. So it's staying in front of people. But speaking of food, they don't necessarily want to know everything you ate for lunch or breakfast, or like your favorite sexual position. I mean, they really don't care. Stay away from it. But setting up a strategy so that, like we do a Tuesday and a Friday. What do we do on Tuesday? Hot Topic Tuesday, and we do Faculty Friday. And it features different people, and it features different programs and different topics. And then you're not inundating them every single day with information, but you're providing them something they can go back to and that they can learn from. And so we really like that. We also learned that if you boost everything, it's not going to work. But select what you're going to boost, give it like a week's time, and then go on to the next area. And I used to think that you want to do everything the top professional way you can, like have music in the background, and I got to make sure my nails are done, which they're not, okay? But I used to think it had to be very professional, very wound up, and very tight. And the reality is they want real. And they don't necessarily want something that's fabricated, that's a perfect picture with a perfect saying. Doing videos is absolutely positively key. And the shorter, the better. 15 seconds to 30 seconds. And I also used to think holding your phone, which I showed you before, this is like my reason for living, right? Holding your phone, I used to think, it has to be horizontal. But the reality is I was watching, what was I watching? American football, which is...
Wasn't Grey's Anatomy, was it?
Would you stop sharing? Okay. It was American.
If anyone missed the pre-call Quick 5-5 last week, that joke will make perfect sense. Go back and listen to it. Sorry, go on, Sarah. Go on.
Okay, you just have to figure out which one I am in Grey's Anatomy. But American football, when it's the only thing that's really watched live on American TV. Do you know that? Everything else is recorded. and people go back to it and they use Xfinity, and that's how they, Netflix, that's how they see it. But the only thing they'll watch live is football. So if you're American, you watch those ads on football. And you watch those ads on soccer if you're in Australia, that weird country with the accent, okay?
Yes, sir.
And when I'm watching the ads, people are showing videos upright. They're showing them vertical. So I went, oh my gosh, boom, you got to be willing to change. So I shifted my videos to vertical because most people are opening things up on their phone anyway. So the more real, the more natural you can be, finding your segments and boosting. And it changes so horribly quickly that it's either exciting or it's like a death knell. You've got to stay up to what's going on. And if you can't do it yourself, and I know we're all under budgets, but get a millennial in there, announce it to your class, ask your personal training clients, put something up on the bathroom mirrors saying we're looking for, social media. Anybody know of a great intern that can work with us? That really helps tremendously.
Yeah, Sarah, I think that social media piece is so key, and I would hope that most people have a bit of a handle on their social, or they're starting to produce content. But you shared something really significant in there, which I wanted to touch on. I love this idea of theming particular days, which gives you some parameters. It gives you parameters to actually plan ahead. So just remind me, you had a Tuesday and a Thursday, was it?
Yes, we did Hot Topic Tuesday, which you could do as Personal Training Tuesday, and make it work that way. And then Friday, we did Faculty Friday, which you could highlight. You could do Trainer Tuesday. You could do, I don't know, on Friday,
Food Friday, or Fitness Tips Friday or something.
Freaky Friday, Fitness Tips Friday, something. We found that for us, we did a little bit of research and looked in our Facebook, and we found we're very Facebook heavy, very Instagram heavy. Not a lot of Pinterest, not a lot of LinkedIn, not for us. And we could track, we knew that 9 a.m., believe it or not, between 7 and 9 a.m., between 11 and 12, and after 5 o'clock and before 8 o'clock was our peak time for people to contact us. And so we could strategically set things. And the other thing I highly recommend is that you integrate your print work with your email work, with whatever type of, if you've got radio, that you integrate. And that's where you've got that little branding. And when we do our design work, we always start large to small. So if we're going to do print work, we do our poster work, then we do our special Word document, 8.5 by 11, little Word document. Then we'll go into an email. Then we'll give them a social media post. And you guys, you have to use tech. Look at that, I'm so excited. You have to use text messaging. So after you get your social media, you shrink it a little bit further and you use text messaging. And we're always, I want your cell phone, man, because I am going to annoy you.
Okay, I want you to hold all of those thoughts for 2 seconds, Sarah, because I don't want to leave social media just yet, but I do want to explore everything that you just said, because we're moving into that gold of marketing integration, which really makes me excited. So before we move on to that, a couple of bits and pieces. I just want to go back to the planning ahead, because so I use that very same technique where I'll plan, kind of systemize my social media posts. Personally, I do a 12-week plan and then utilize CoSchedule, which is a third-party scheduling tool, to push out that content onto all platforms except Facebook, because we know that Facebook don't like third-party platforms and we've got to schedule it in Facebook directly. So 2 questions. First of all, do you use a third-party scheduler like Hootsuite or CoSchedule, or do you schedule direct on the platform? That's number 1. Number 2 is, I mentioned I do it 12 weeks in advance. How far in advance do you plan your social media content?
Only 4 weeks.
4 weeks for you.
We go 4 weeks because we do 9 fitness conferences a year.
Okay.
And it's insane. We do, DC is in January, New York is in February, California, which is in San Francisco, is in March. April is Florida Mania. Then we get a month off, which is wonderful. Yeah. Really. And you know what happened last year, our month off? We had a fire in the office. We lost everything.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh my goodness. We'll talk about that another time. But July is Atlanta, then August is Dallas, and then we have Philly, and then we have Chicago, and then we have Boston. So it's like every 4 to 6 weeks. That's the way we do it. And I like doing it that way also because I can give a little special attention if there's holidays coming up, and we use Hootsuite.
Use Hootsuite, yeah, which is a fantastic scheduling tool. And do you schedule Facebook directly? Yes. Now, this is kind of odd because I had my own personal Facebook page when we started, like back in, I think it was the 18th century. Okay. and I filled up. I've got like 5,000 friends. And so I had to do a business page. Yeah, right. I know. Like, who knew? Like, people come up like, oh my God, I saw your kids. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who are you? And they're your Facebook friend. And do you know what I ate for breakfast? Yeah. We won't talk about the sexual position. No. All right. I'll do my own personal Facebook, but then I have my business person helping me with I have Sara Kooperman, and then I have Sara Kooperman Fitness. Gotcha. And I keep the page, it's topped out. It says, don't like me anymore. Go to this business page. But I still can't ignore those 5,000 people. And no matter what I do, I can't get them transferred over. Yeah. So I kind of post one, and then she kind of copies and posts the other, and everything else is on Hootsuite. Okay, perfect. That answered my question perfectly. So let's talk about that marketing integration that you talked about, which is the importance of making sure that we're using not singular platform, but that we're actually using multiple platforms to target in different ways and target different people. And I loved what you said about starting big and then working our way through. So let's go back to the start of that and explain to us in your process. You start off with a print ad or with a big, larger format ad and take us right back through that cycle down to the text messaging. And specifically, I would love to hear about some examples of really effective text messages that you've used. Okay. We start large to small because you're talking about dots per inch. Now, a lot of us have to consult out with design people. So it's very important for you to understand these dots per inch and go with that. Because if you tell them, I want an email, and then you go backwards and say, hey, can we just get a copy of that I can print out and put in the bathroom stalls? Okay. They're going to say, oh, well, I have to charge you more because I didn't download the photos, la, 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 or they picked the wrong images that will blow up properly. So I always try to think starting large to small, because that you can shrink anything, but you can't reverse it back up. Yeah. And I also I'm going to kind of shuffle sideways here. I don't think you can do everything through social media. I mean, I was teaching at a club. Where was I teaching? I think it was Lifetime Fitness. And I taught there for like 10 years. Loved it. And there was this special thing like the instructor of the month. And I thought, oh, I want to be instructor of the month. Not that I'm competitive or anything, but I thought it was really fun. And you announce to people and you say, hey, go to lifetimefitness.com/instructor and fill this out. Use my name. Well, you announce that. Nobody's going to see it on social media. Nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to see it. So I actually had to print out a little these. I didn't even go to do Vistaprint or anything. I just did it out of my computer, printed out a Word document with my name, with the website and my name, and just handed it out physically. What a concept. Physically to everybody as they were leaving the room. Lo and behold, who got it? Yeah, it was great. Woo! Instructor of the month.
There you go. Like, who cares that I was businesswoman of the year?
Yeah.
Darn it, I was
Struck.
yeah, and now I make 50 cents an hour more. Okay, so I don't know what that is in Australian.
It's still 50 cents. It's just the conversion, like 50 US cents is probably like, I don't know, it's probably about $3.50 in Australia or something like that.
No, 50 cents. Yeah, really terrible exchange. I was looking.
It's dreadful. But I'm just going to jump on that for a second because I love that. I think that's a really important point, and that is we cannot rely on our members' memory to take home a marketing message or an offer or a refer a friend or whatever it is. It's not reasonable for us as club owners or managers to verbally just say to someone, hey, we're doing a refer a friend, we're doing a 50% off, we've got this great, because they've got a million other things going on in their life, right? So they walk out the door and it's gone. So your idea and your message about reinforce the message with something tangible is so important. I love it.
Yeah, and that's where I would highly encourage everybody to make sure that every single person on their staff has a business card. Everyone has a business card. And it should say hashtag Gold's Gym or hashtag, New City YMCA or hashtag Susie's Boutique, bar, Pilates studio for teenagers, that whatever. Okay. Yeah. So you've got to have those hashtags like right in front of them. And that's something we learned kind of the hard way because people were hashtagging all these different places and we couldn't collect it all. And you get great statements and great photos and great testimonials and do contests. I'm not the only freaky competitive one out there.
People love contests, don't they?
They love contests. Give them a free month membership. We're going to pick the best testimonial. And if you give me a 15-second testimonial, you could win a free month for you and a friend.
Love this.
And those work great. And you get great, they just start winding each other up. And it's really fun. Some of them are very funny.
Now, with those hashtags, just so that everyone can put a visual in their head, I'm imagining that it doesn't matter what piece of marketing material it is around the facility, whether it's on the bathroom doors, as we talk about, if it's in the entrance on the way in, it's on the timetables, it's on the feedback forms. Are you suggesting that hashtag, that one hashtag that identifies your business is on all of those individual pieces?
Yeah. I like them being like everywhere.
Consistent.
And you can also do the @ sign, like we do at SCW Fitness and we do hashtag SCW Mania. We used to have hashtag Mania, and then from 2017 to 2018, hashtag Mania turned into a porn site. Yeah. So we had to switch it.
Wow. That's one of those marketing grenades that you just don't expect is going to happen. You could have predicted that.
But it was a good life lesson. Pick something unique that's unique to you. Hashtag Mania, everybody's crazy. So
okay, so this is terrific. So we've talked about the social media aspect, the importance of going from large to small and having consistency in our marketing message and utilizing that hashtag on everything for the purpose of being able to identify what's going on, to look up what people are saying about the business and testimonials, that type of thing. So where do we go from there? We've got those different types of marketing material, and I know that you mentioned text messages. Is that our next kind of logical step?
Yeah, in talking about how you're going to market, I want to tell a story and then I want to get you to buy. So there's two separate types of articles, there are two separate types of emails and messages out there. But whatever you do, you want them to want to click and go deeper. That's what you want. They got to click and go deeper. We found a really cool little program called eztexting.com. Mm-hmm. E like the letter E, Z like the letter Z, like for zebra, whatever. TEXTING.com. And then you can schedule your text messaging. And it can either be all text, meaning all words, and then you include a website in there, and then somebody can just push on the website. It drives them through Safari or through Google right to wherever you want them to go. But I also love images. And the images don't have to be real sophisticated. With easy texting, you just can load a little photo you took of yourself. Where's my cell phone? Photo you took of yourself, or that you took of the gym, or that we took of my dog that was walking around earlier. And that's the image. And then it makes them want to read the text. So
okay.
People like to see. And so now I'm pushing easy texting because I want to be able to attach a video. But what the program is so cool is that I can just take a stupid Excel chart, ABC, whatever is my database that I'm using for my club, and I can just block all the cell phone numbers, dump it in, and send one email like that.
Okay, so
I can send the email by using the email list, but then I'll send my text message. And I get a 90% open rate on my text messages, as opposed to like an 11 or 17% on my emails.
Okay, so let's talk about this email text message scenario, because is the message that you are sending on the email, is the text message supporting the email message, or do you use one for one purpose and one for another purpose?
I like them. They work synergistically, because we can even send an email to people and say, please check, or send a text message, to a person and say, please check your email for more information. And we'll always say, check your spam, because we're a business, you're a business, and we end up in spam. And they don't go, I check my spam every day because I'm a freak who watches Grey's Anatomy, but I'm a freak, okay? But that's what I'm checking when I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, going through my spam, delete, stop, contact me. I do not need insurance. Okay, and I'm deleting all this stuff, but I will also find some valuable little nuggets in there, and we're the valuable nugget shoved in between somewhere. So the text messaging does help. And I would encourage all you business owners, check your terms and conditions that you do on your website, and check your membership contracts, because you can include in there that, I'm going to email you, I'm able to use your photographs and images, and I'm going to text you. And you can say, like, we share our email list. We rent it out, okay? But people are like, oh, I don't want to give it to you if you're giving it to people. So we just say you might be hearing from some of our valued partners. So we phrase it that way to make it not as intrusive. But it's wonderful to collect this information. It's the best way to reach out to these people.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point. I was going to bring it up as well, Sarah, and that is just making sure that you've sought permission to contact them in that way. And because we are a international show, I will put the extra clause in there to say if you are affected by the GDPR, if you're a European-based business, obviously double check all of these and make sure that it's compliant within your country. But certainly as a way of having that direct contact with your members, what a phenomenal way to do it. What I'm wondering is, Sarah, how frequently do you think it's acceptable to receive a text message from your fitness facility or your fitness provider? Like, how frequently can we do it so that the message is effective, but we're not annoying them via text message? Have you had any experience with that?
It's it's
a $1 million question.
Yeah, really, just love it. Thank you for asking that. We struggle. Like when we're getting ready to do an event, the maximum you want to do is 3 times a week. So if you're going to do like a special event, like we just finished, New Year's, but if you've got something going on for Valentine's Day, which is coming up, you start with like once a week, and then you might go to twice a week, and then maybe you can push it to 3 times a week. That's it. If I'm going to text message, I really don't want to do it more than twice a month to the same group. So one of my I think it's very important to separate your groups. Like when you are going to get a new member, find out what they're interested in. You may not use it right up in front, and you can make it check all that apply, but find out what they're interested in. Like, because we do conventions, we want to not only find out what they're interested in, we want to find out, because that tends to be somewhat fluid, we want to find out geographically where they're located. Now, if you're a gym, your geographics is they got to be within driving distance. It's within 30 minutes. That's it. Okay. Maybe 45 if you're that good. But find out their interest, because then you can target a bit and not exhaust them by always sending the same things out. Like some of these events, I'm just getting over and over and over again. And then I hit, remove me, and then
then you lose them, right?
Yeah. So I gotta be,
Sarah. I feel as though big companies are very good at segmenting their email lists. I think that I see them doing it exceptionally well. I think that smaller businesses, we're not as good as doing that, because there is a degree of data knowledge necessary to segment. I don't think it needs to be a huge process, but I think it's such an important point that you make, because if we continuously send a generic message to all of our database, when perhaps we know that there's a third of them that aren't interested in group fitness, for example, they're just there to do weight floor training, then we are going to start to lose those people. They will unsubscribe, or they will kind of, want to stop receiving that marketing message from us. So the concept of collecting data and continuously, not just upfront, but continuously understanding our customer so that we can segment our marketing messages is so key. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it's very hard. And a lot of people are very scared to collect anything but an email address. And it depends on what part of the country. Now we do, we're from New York all the way to California, down to Florida, up to Chicago. I mean, we have events all over the country. And what I find is the only people that won't fill it out are New Yorkers or LA. That's it. Everybody else, I mean, I swear I could ask them their social security number.
And they just hand it over.
I get it. But they will give you. You just don't need to put the little red star. You don't need to make it required. But they will give you a lot of geographic information. We even, in our registrations, we even collect who is the group fitness manager, who's the personal training manager, what's their name. And we even at some point ask, what's their cell phone number? And we get it.
Wow.
And it's because, and I will tell you, we're a 35-year-old business.
Yeah,
trusted brands. Conferences for 31 years. People, and if something's ever gone wrong, we correct it. And that's what we do. And so if they trust you, or if somebody says, oh yeah, go to this, it's great. If they trust you, it's a whole different world.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, Sarah, we've kind of gone everywhere with this today, and I love it. I love that we've covered so much ground. So if we've thought about those absolute essentials for a fitness business or a personal trainer to be ticking off their marketing list, and we've talked about the importance of using social media. I loved your kind of advice around starting big with our messaging and making sure that we're not just focusing on social, but we've also got our other kind of more traditional type media. We talked about hashtags. I mean, there's so much ground. Is there any advice that you want to leave the listeners with today that will really just help them in regards to growing their business from a marketing perspective? Is there any kind of last words of wisdom before we talk about FILEX 2019. I'm going to talk to you about FILEX, but before we go there, are there any kind of last pieces of advice that you want to leave with our listeners around this topic of marketing?
Well, okay, I am #almost 60. I turned 60 March 1st.
I actually don't believe you, but we'll go.
It's a lot of makeup I'm wearing today, okay? And I'm covering my neck. So that
I want some of that makeup.
It never is thick, can't be thick enough. All right. But one of the things that I've learned over the years is you have to keep learning. Like, honestly, we were like, what is going on with registrations? And nobody on my team really knew social media. And I'm like, I need to get a millennial. And you know what? The reality is you get a millennial and then they don't know anything about your business. They don't have the experience. They don't have the wealth of knowledge. They don't understand, what people are thinking, and it doesn't work. But I really believe in learning. Read the newsletters that come out. Check, and if you do find an interesting article in the newspaper or in your feed, read it. You can learn. I had to learn. I went to every session at the Athletic Business Conference, at the Medical Fitness Conference, at MANIAs. I go and I listen. Jen Hogue does HOGG. She does amazing stuff. Lawrence Viscontini. And I just listen, and it's like a sponge. And if you keep reading and listening, when you start hearing similar things, it's like, oh, I knew that. I'm 100 years old, but I can learn. And it really helps. So the one thing I can say about marketing is it's going to change. And in like 5 months, it's going to be different. Like, first it was photos, now it's videos. They were all horizontal. Now it's vertical. Now throw it in a text message. Only use 140 characters in your text message. Keep it nice and concise so it fits on one screen with the photo. You will learn. And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
They are all fantastic pieces of advice, Sarah. Thank you so much. Now, tell us all about your little trip to Australia that's coming up very soon, because we are so excited to welcome you to Sydney for FILEX 2019. And I know that you have a lot on your schedule when you arrive in town. So give us a quick insight into what you're going to be talking about, what topics you're going to be talking about during FILEX 2019.
Well, first of all, if anyone wants to take me to lunch, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't worry, we'll have that sorted.
Good. Okay. I'm doing successful business strategies, which I really love. And that's I would say from 35 years of mistakes. Okay. And then I am doing marketing. So I'm doing a marketing lecture as well. I'm doing a leadership session, which I really love. And I'm involved. I'm so excited that I'm doing with you, Chantel, the Women Who Influence.
Yeah. It's fabulous.
I was involved with that in Canada. We do a women's leadership summit, which is kind of nice and small at all our MANIA conferences. But that to me is just thrilling, because do you know that 50% of the people that graduate from college are female? 50% of the people that graduate from graduate school are female. But 4.6% of the population of CEOs in the United States are female. 4.6%. So what happened to the other 45.4%? Like, what the heck? And I think it's very important. I'm happily married for probably too long. No, for how long have we been together? Along 31 years we've been married. 36 years we've been together. I have 4 children. Everybody says you can have it all. You can have it all. No, you can't. But you can have a lot. Okay, and do what you like. And I'm very excited about the Women of Influence. I'm really excited, and I'm doing a yoga yoga for the active agers.
Oh, I saw that you're doing a yoga session as well. So look, I second what you're saying about the Women of Influence forum. I think it's going to be fabulous. And just a couple of things on that for everyone. If you are a FILEX attendee from previous years, we used to do it as a breakaway. So it used to be a breakaway lunch, and we used to go over to the other side of the water. Not this year. This year we are staying as part of the main conference. You don't have to pay any extra, which is amazing. And I think we're going to do, an afternoon session. So there's lots of information coming out about that very soon. You can jump onto the FILEX.com website. I'm going to say .com. It might be .com.au, but I'll put the link in the show notes. So make sure that you jump on and take a look at that Women of Influence forum that we are doing this year. I'm so excited, Sarah, that you're involved. And I am so excited to get along to your other sessions as well. I'm going to come along to the leadership session, really excited for marketing and for yoga. So we can't wait to welcome you to Sydney.
I'm so excited. I really am. It's like, I'm like counting the days. My husband's like, why do you want to get away from me? And I'm like, guess, okay?
You tell him that it's, today we're topping 35 degrees Celsius, which is getting close to, I think it's close to 100 Fahrenheit. And you're sitting there in, rugged up in long sleeves and a fire glowing in the background. A fireplace in the background. So that's a good enough reason to come on over to Australia. But no, Sarah, thank you so much. This has been so much fun talking to you about marketing, and thank you for sharing your experience and your insights with all of the FBP family.
I am absolutely thrilled. And when you sent me that email, Chantel, I was so excited because I went to your session at the Athletic Business Show and I was like, oh my God, I've never heard her speak. She's amazing. And that's when I went up to you and told you how much I liked your dress.
Yeah. Because this is important. This is important.
Right. We have priorities here.
Oh, so much fun, Sarah. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you soon. MyZone is a wearable technology platform that leverages personal goal setting, gamification, and social platforms to motivate your members. To find out more, go to myzone.org.
Precore Quickfire 5.
This week's Precore Quickfire 5 guest is Eric Hinderberger, the Director of Business Development for First Credit Services. Hey, Eric, welcome and thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
So glad to be here, Chantal.
We're going to start off today's interview with a Precore Quickfire 5. So tell everyone, why do you do what you do?
Yeah, actually, in my youth, I was struck with an illness that has kind of since then enabled me to focus building my life around wellness and, most importantly, fitness.
And what's one ritual that helps you become better at what you do?
Conscious planning.
Great answer. And what's an app or a system that you might use to stay in control of your workload?
I keep myself pretty bare minimum. I have less than one page of apps on my cell phone, so I'm very much a notepad and an Outlook guy.
Wow, less than one page of apps. There's probably very few people that can say that. And what's one book, podcast, or blog that you would recommend and why?
I would say people need to check out the Shibumi method. It is a very Japanese approach to strategy, management, and organization, and it really allows for you to focus on just executing tasks rather than overwhelming yourself with a lot of the process.
Oh, interesting. Is that a book?
It is.
So it's called the Shibumi method. Is that right?
Yes.
And I will look that one up and put the link in today's show notes and give us a really quick overview of what we're going to be talking about during your main interview.
Yeah, we're going to be focusing on enlivening your sleeping membership base at your health club or studio, whatever you're practicing right now within the health and fitness arena.
I get the feeling that it's going to be a very popular topic. So, Eric, thank you so much for joining me today for the Precore Quickfire 5.
Thank you, Chantal.
You heard it at the very start of the show, so here are the details that you've been waiting for. You're all invited to the FBP Family Meetup on Wednesday, March the 13th at 6 a.m. If you're not familiar with our meetup walks, this is an active networking event. We walk and we talk for 45 minutes and we return back to the main entrance of the Marriott Marquis San Diego Marina by 6:50 a.m. The meetup is free and it's the best way to start your day. We need to know attendance numbers, so please do me a huge favor. If you can make it along, go over to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, go to the top of the page and click on the tab called Meetup. Then register your details for the Ursa Walk. If you need any more information, please email me directly at chantal@fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Thank you for joining me for this week's show, and a reminder that all the resources and the links for today's episode can be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. As we come to the end of today's show, I want to say thank you to our foundation partner, Active Management. Our most downloaded shows relate to lead generation. So Active Management have an awesome free checklist for improving what is possibly your most viewed page on your website. All you need to do is grab it at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/active. Thank you so much to everyone for being part of the FBP family. You know who you are. Just remember, what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.